What's up, everybody? It is SpaceCheif. Today is Monday.
Not Sunday.
Not Sunday, but Monday. August 22nd, 2011. It's about 12:45 a.m. I am here with Ender.
How's it going, everybody?
Yeah. We've been screwing up for the past 10 minutes trying to get this episode recorded, so we've got the giggles at the moment. But whatever. Doesn't matter. It's been a very, very long last week. I know I said that I would be putting out more episodes more frequently, shorter length episodes, but I've been working this past week and it's been kicking my ass, so it's kind of been difficult. But I'm going to be settled in soon, if not much soon, or very, very soon? I don't know. I can't grammar today. I can't brain. I have the dumb.
Don't touch me. It might be contagious.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to reach through this microphone and grab you and give you the dumb.
At that point, I'd probably accept it.
Yeah. Giggity. Anyway. This week has been pretty freaking rough. So what... Okay. So, let's do some house cleaning first off. EVADEcast is going through a transition right now, aside from the giggles. Utters is about to start his regular yearly school thing up again, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult for him to make shows with us. Ender is going to be with us as always, so worst case scenario, you get to deal with both of us on an episode.
Exciting.
Speaking of episodely basis, this is episode 4, if I'm not mistaken.
We'll call it 4.5. There was a small one.
Yeah, my short that I did, which actually we're going to be talking about in a couple seconds here. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Utters is staying with us. He's just got crap going on in his life. Ender is staying with us because he's just got no life. I am not going anywhere because I don't have any life either, outside of work. However, we do have some news. Notsavard has decided that it is in his best interest, and I believe that he is correct here, to leave the cast. Probably not permanently. Long-term, most likely. Short-term, not likely at all. He's focusing on other stuff. He's got school coming up, so I figured, he should be focusing on that anyways. But we've got some stuff him and I need to work out, and he just basically came to me this past Friday and said, "Yo, I'm out." And I said, "Okay, cool, whatever, if that's how you feel." Anyway, so yeah, it's down to me and Ender full-time and Utters part-time. And hopefully, if you're listening to this, you're going to listen to the end of the episode because I have a proposition to make. But you have to wait till the end of the episode to hear it. So that means you have to deal with all my crap for the next however long it takes us to get through all this. So let's get right to the point. Ender is here. I am here. Let's get started with the news. This week was a pretty... I'm not going to sugarcoat this. It was a pretty shitty week if you belong to EA Games. With the whole debacle that I put up with my short that I put out about 2 weeks ago about how they're pulling future titles and current releases up, or they're taking them down from Steam rather, and saying that Steam is not supporting the way that they want to distribute things like patches and their content and things like that. Well, the wonderful large than life man who sits in an office somewhere up in Seattle overlooking that which is his kingdom, Gabe Newell, the owner, CEO, creator, founder, all around big guy at Valve, aka Steam or whatever Steam is. I guess Steam is its own company now. Either way, he went on the record today during Gamescom to say that basically what I said was true, not in those words. He just basically reiterated what I said in his own words because I'm pretty sure he doesn't listen to EVADEcast, and if he does, hey, big guy, thank you for single-handedly saving that which is the PC gaming market, in my opinion. Fat chance, I guess I should just put it in there. Get it? Fat joke, Gabe. I should probably expect like Valve office security to show up at my front door tomorrow morning.
If they can fit through.
Just like drag me out of bed and beat me. I'm gonna end up on a jet somewhere with chloroform. They're gonna chloroform me and put me on a jet, and Gabe Newell's gonna have me stand over a trap door and answer for my sacrilege that I just committed against his name, and then he's gonna drop me and I'm gonna fall and I'm gonna die, and then I'm gonna wake up.
No. The key to never getting dropped down the trapdoor is to assure them you've never failed them for the last time.
Anyway, Gabe Newell went on the record at Gamescom this week saying that he's played on Origin and that where did it go? I was looking right at it. What the hell? Damn it, brain. Anyway, he went on the record saying that he's played around with Origin, and just as I suspected, there's issues that happen with any kind of digital distribution service. But those issues can be addressed. Hopefully, they do get addressed, especially before Battlefield 3 comes out, since EA is doing this stupid as hell. Let's put all our eggs in one basket and take everything off of Steam and use our own crap instead of sticking with what already works. Their whole reasoning behind it, like I probably stated already, I just can't think right, is that they say that Steam doesn't give them the support client side that they want. Well, Gabe Newell said in this interview, which I will have a link to in the description section below, that he doesn't know, like I said, not to steal any thunder from the big guy, but like I said, he doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. And that no other developer that has come to Steam and Valve to have a game placed onto their distribution service has had this kind of issue before. So EA is just smoke and mirrors. They're making crap up just to try and cite a reason to get EA games off of Steam and use their own stuff. So Steam doesn't take part of their profits, which they should anyways, honestly, because Steam is the largest digital distribution service on any platform, period. I mean, even AMD, which is now, I'm sorry, ATI, which is now AMD, has decided to push driver updates through Steam for video cards, which is probably one of the most brilliant ideas anybody could have come up with, considering that the people that actually bother to update their video drivers are gamers. So regardless, even when a hardware developer has said, you know what, this is probably a good bet and we're going to take it, come on, guys. EA is just being stupid. First it was Crysis 2, and now it's Battlefield 3. And this is the big stink in the shooter market, especially for PC right now, is that what is EA doing? And it doesn't even stop there. This week alone for EA, Activision owners and the Call of Duty franchise makers have come out on the same week and said that all of this Battlefield 3 talk about how it's going to kill Call of Duty and it's going to be so much better is bad for gaming. So instead of going and trying to defend their product, which a lot of people think that they should, they basically went out and said, no, this is stupid. Grow the hell up. And it's like Ender and I said in the last couple episodes, they're two completely different games. And when the CEO of Activision, Eric Hirshberg, comes out and says, y'all need to shut up because this isn't helping, I'm paraphrasing here, of course. Something's got to give. And then just announced, I think it was yesterday, it was confirmed that EA is staggering Star Wars The Old Republic launch numbers. They're staggering the number of people that can log into the server or can purchase the game and actually create their account and log in, both through retail copies and digital distribution copies on the first week, because they want to make sure that the servers can handle the capacity of people coming in. EA is the largest, next to Activision and a couple other names that I can't think up of off the top of my head right now, one of the largest game producers, if not the largest game producer on the market for any platform whatsoever. What the hell? Like, they really can't plan ahead for 10 million people on the opening night to grab their product and try it out. Like, you can't sit down with AT&T and say, "Hey, we're going to need a large number of servers for this stuff." What's going through the EA team's heads on all three of these fronts? Because it's 1 week. You guys have shot yourself in the foot over the same crap repeatedly now, and you did it 3 times in the same week almost. What's going on over there? I think they're being stupid, and I think they're being greedy. I don't think they're thinking things through. That's just my opinion. I want not only to know what our listeners' opinions on the subject is, which nobody's been leaving comments in the section below. So you guys should, because we actually want your feedback. We want your feedback so that we can bring these issues up in the next episode and talk about them and call you out by name and be like, well, so and so said this, and I think this about this. Anyway, that's later on. Ender, what do you think EA is doing? Or do you think they're thinking at all?
Uh, well, EA, I think they're really trying to pull out to the top. They're trying really hard. I mean, mudslinging's been around for the longest time, and it's one of the quickest ways to sit there and cut yourself apart, from everyone else. So basically, I mean, they're taking on the role of the bad guy, I guess, in the gaming community. I mean, they still produce great games. People are going to buy them. I just really think that they're going ahead and trying to pull themselves out of the market. I mean, I can't agree with their marketing plan. Separating from Steam is a really stupid idea, especially when you consider that it's one of the most common means for getting your computer games. So, don't really think they're thinking too hard on that aspect. EA has shown that they are rather greedy, even like in retail. For if you buy games such as Madden, if you buy it used, you actually have to pay an additional $10 to actually get a key that will allow you to play it online.
Yeah, if you yeah, for all the sports games now that they're supposed to put out at this point.
Yeah, and then aside from that, with EA capping a limit to how many games they're gonna be selling on opening day, I can't really say too much about that. I have a slightly bit of a biased opinion on that, being in the retail myself, because basically what that tells me is, hey, more incentive to pre-order, and I can't really give an unbiased comment on that because
Eh,
I want your pre-orders.
Yeah, well, you basically just gave away who you work for to everybody. Not that it really matters, but what do you think? Maybe that some big shots at GameStop and other retailers that offer pre-orders for games sat down and said, "Yo, why don't we do this so that we can make we can give exclusive rights and get your numbers up for pre-orders." Do you think maybe
Uh,
that happened? I just thought that up.
I,
I didn't.
I really don't think so.
It's a conspiracy.
Conspiracy within the corporations. I don't know. I know corporations, the companies, they've been trying to come up with more incentives to have people pre-order, because then that's essentially money that's guaranteed in the bag on the project that you made. So you're not really just sitting there throwing copies of a game out and, oh well, didn't do that great, now you just lost money. So instead it's, okay, we know we're starting off with this many, and then we're gonna projected to have this many more sales. So pre-orders are always a great thing. Businesses love them. Um, So I'm not sure if it's some kind of big conspiracy going on with that. It For all we know, it could be that EA is just probably going to have problems keeping up with it on day one.
Yeah. Well, if that's seriously the case and they didn't plan ahead for a massive influx of users on day one purchases, what does this say for we're talking about the same company that's trying to convince people that their new digital distribution system is going to be able to compete with Steam. What does this say about that? If they're this scared about how many people are going to jump to the Old Republic on day one, like, hello,
Yeah, I see
we've
where you're
got
going with
we've
this.
got Origin coming out at the same time, and they want to put all of their future releases out through Origin, and they're afraid that it's going to get hit too hard. What's going to happen to Origin when it's multiple games?
It's very true. But who knows? That's really one of those things that's going to be time tested. You can't really say too much about it now without really seeing it get put into practice. I actually, you know what? That could probably be one of the big reasons EA is actually making this move is that they've probably seen the success of Steam, and they're probably trying to get in on a cut of the pie because who else does what Steam does?
Nobody. Well, Direct to Drive does it, which is it's a digital distribution service, but it's not a client that I know of. I've never personally used Direct to Drive. I go through Steam for everything, but I believe it's just you pay, you get a key in the email in your email, and you download what you purchased directly as an executable install file from the Direct to Drive website. I mean, it's still a digital distribution service, but it's not the same as Steam, which is an entire community. It's an entire client system where you get everything from a friends list to an in-game user interface that overlaps. Game overlay UI.exe actually shows up whenever you launch a game through Steam. You hit Shift Tab and it automatically brings up the Steam overlay, and you can invite friends to your game and things like that. They don't do this with Direct to Drive. So yes and no. It's not the only one, but it's not. It is the biggest one. So you know, I'm pretty stuck on the whole. What is this gonna do to them? Like, I don't know. I don't think they're thinking things through. I think they're letting greed get the better part of planning their games out, and they're trying to do it at the same time that they're trying to push out the biggest products that they've got on the coming down the pipe. You've got the Old Republic, you've got Battlefield 3, you've got Crisis 2, which already came out. You probably got DLC for that coming out soon.
But by the same token, I mean, if you're going to try and separate yourself and create your own distribution system, I mean, this is actually probably one of the best times to go for it because why would I want to sit there and go through yours, for just some mediocre game? Maybe not a whole lot of people are really into it, just has its own hardcore fans. Or instead, you have these games that branch out. It's going to hit a wide audience, and how are they going to get this game? For their PC, they're going to have to go through EA's new client.
Yeah,
So I
well,
mean, I can see the logic. It's really one of those things where I'm gonna have to, I can't really badmouth them because it's a move they as a company feel they have to make.
yeah, I guess that's a good point too. Last I heard, Blizzard was talking about doing the same thing with allowing third parties to be able to sell product through the new BattleNet system, BattleNet 2.0, whatever you want to call it. But that's yet to be seen. There's really no info out on that. People really aren't paying attention to that because of what's coming down the pipe for Blizzard. Anyway, let's give that a rest. Another piece of big news that we can move on to is Gamescom was going on over in Europe this week. There's a lot of big news coming out. People usually see this as the second E3 of the year. I mean, there have been news outlets that have been calling Gamescom the largest gathering of whatever you want to call us in the world on a yearly basis. I personally think it's E3, but I could be wrong. Whatever. Uh, Gamescom went on this week. There was a lot of talk about future releases. A bunch of really good tournaments were going on. StarCraft 2 had the Intel Masters series go on, and I'd like to give a big welcome and shout out to EG's newest member, Puma, who came over here from South Korea and is now a member of Team Evil Geniuses, which is. I probably shouldn't say this because I probably should appear unbiased, but Evil Geniuses is my favorite team of pro gamers. I will be wearing one of their jerseys very soon, not as a competitor, obviously. I kind of hung my competitive gaming keyboard and mouse up for the time being, if not permanently. But they, welcome to Puma, and Puma went out of his way in the Intel Masters League StarCraft 2 tournament to snipe MC. I believe it was MC. Let me check Twitter real quick. Yep, SK/OGS MC. So, I guess that's another piece of news. MC is going to either he belongs to both or he's switching from OGS to SK Gaming. Either way, whatever. That's a whole nother world that we don't really go too far into. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, Gamescom was going on this week. There's a lot of pretty cool news that came out. There was stuff, stuff about Armored Core 5 finally got a nice showing. Assassin's Creed had some stuff go on. Uh, Germany, where the convention took place, is a very, very, very big PC gaming market, and there was a lot of manufacturers that were putting out their cases and other products that are coming out. So if you're on the hardware side, I'm sure you can Google any of the stuff that was coming out, that was being displayed, I guess you could say, at Gamescom this year. GoldenEye is getting a reboot, not the reboot that they did for the Wii, but the reboot of that reboot for next gen consoles, and apparently it's coming out for PC as well. You're gonna get next gen graphics and all that wonderful stuff, and maybe, just maybe, they'll do it right this time. Not that it wasn't good on the Wii, but it wasn't. It's not the same. They tried to resurrect the N64 feel, where it was the party game back then. This was before. You got to remember, GoldenEye was a launch title for the Nintendo 64, so this was before Super Smash Brothers was even in the picture. Because then that Mario Party became the, hey, everybody get over here. We're gonna get drunk and play video games.
No, you know what I want to see? I think it's about time. Is I need like an 8, 10, 12 split, multiplayer screen. I mean, we have TVs big enough for it. Why can I not play with 12 people on my same television screen?
Because you're one of the only people that would be willing to sit through that crap.
I mean, come on.
Your
We
screen
we
looking.
we. Back in the days. I'm telling you, I really don't like this whole movement where okay, you can play with 2 people on this, but then everyone else has to be online. No, we have 52-inch plasma flat screen TVs. Give me 12 people, same console. That's what I want.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe it'll happen.
Okay, you hear that, developers? 12 people, same console.
That's what we
Big
should.
money.
That's what we should catch the attention of somebody at Blizzard to do, where you've got 4 people playing Diablo 3, and you've got to use up every USB slot. Everybody's hooked up to the same computer with their keyboards and mice on one screen.
Yeah, man.
Hey, it could happen. We could make this happen.
Hey, we played on worse. Sitting there playing on those old TVs, 4-player split screen, you can't even tell what you're doing.
Wait, which screen am I? Oh man, those were the days. Anyway, yeah, Gamescom. Any exciting things that caught your eye, Ender?
Always been a big fan of Armored Core. Sat there, watched that. Looks kind of interesting. A little disappointed in certain aspects. For example, in one of the videos, your armored core, they're still going with, okay, you move incredibly fast, which is very contradictory to their earlier titles, especially when you jump to number 4 and 4 answer. This one, I think they're really taking a step down from number 4. It's not quite as high flying as it was, but you have other things that still don't make much sense in your giant mech fighting games. For example, you get one jump. There's no real flying, but you can muster a second jump by jumping off of a wall or a building, which just makes no sense to me. But on another thing, something that did look cool is they had I do believe they called it a commander mode, and with this mode, it actually gives someone in your squad an overlay of the map, and they can sit there and they basically act as intel, being able to put down beacons using a radar to tell where enemies are,
Oh,
and
cool.
relay that information to their squad.
That I had not heard of. That's actually pretty cool. It's reminiscent of the old, Battlefield 2 days, where you get somebody sitting in an intel post with the UAV and they keep dropping it somewhere so they can help everybody else out when they're off shooting things, like real gamers should be. I didn't say that. Yeah, I'm excited. I was never. I liked Armored Core, but I was never good at it, and I never had a PlayStation growing up, so I only got to play it occasionally. But it was cool. But the don't you think that if something that heavy were to wall jump, that
It
especially
would
if it was
crush
like, yeah, it would like crush whatever the hell that it was. Whatever. Thank you, Japan.
everything. Makes sense in Japan.
Everything makes sense. That's pretty much Gamescom. Blizzard had their press conference and they did some pretty cool stuff. There's a lot of new info about. I wouldn't say a lot of new info. They released more detailed info about things like itemization and difficulty levels for Diablo 3. They talked about Heart of the Swarm coming up for StarCraft 2, how the campaign is going to work out, and they talked about patch 4.3 for World of Warcraft, which is kind of introduced something that I'm pretty interested in, the armor transmogrification system, where you can take old armor from 3 4 years ago from original vanilla World of Warcraft content, some of the coolest looking sets ever, in my opinion. You can take new gear that you've currently got, and you can take the look from the old gear and place it on the new gear so it looks like you're old school with old school items, but you're actually running around with like top tier crap. That's kind of cool. People have been saying that they wanted that. Increased storage space is another big thing that they're doing for patch 4.3, which is years behind, honestly. I've only been playing WoW hardcore for the past, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years, and I've already run out of storage space on my main character. I have a hard time keeping things like finding it. And there's a search function they're adding. They're adding a baseline search function for your bags, so that'll be cool.
That's pretty bad.
Ender's not a fan of World of Warcraft, so biased.
It's okay. Too many people get serious with it though.
I
I
enjoyed
played
my
it for a
time
while.
professionally. I enjoyed my professional time, so we'll see. Yeah, it's
I think you could be a study case for MMOs being addictive.
no, because see, I've been able to walk away multiple times, and then when I have nothing better to do, and
Yeah,
I'm
but
like, oh, I have a problem. Oh man, but yeah, that was some pretty cool info that I saw. I saw that I watched a press conference. Thank you to my Blizzard friend for linking me the press conference, the VOD for the press conference that they did. Really cool. Really excited about Diablo 3. Oh, yeah, while we're on the subject of, well, nah, that was, we're talking about Blizzard, we'll talk about it now. I'm having an inner dialogue externally,
thinking aloud.
thinking aloud. Uh, while we're talking about D3, I know I've been saying in like every episode that beta's starting, but apparently at Gamescom, someone that actually belongs with Blizzard has finally said, okay, beta starts early to mid next month, this coming month, and that means friends and family. For those of you fortunate enough to know people with Blizzard, or are involved with the press will be able to get your friends and family and press invites in the next week or two here, seeing as we're in the last full week of August. I can't believe how fast this month has gone by, but it's been pretty quick. I think it went by fast because we started doing EVADEcast. And I might not put episodes out every day, but I am looking for stories to talk about every day. I do work my butt off for this stuff. I love this channel, so this is my baby and this is my project, and I'm never gonna give you up. Oh man. Well, at least I know what the intro or outro music is gonna be for this episode. Took care
Wow.
of two birds with one stone there. Anyway,
Just make it the end music. We don't need to chase anybody off when it
I
starts.
know that's true. I didn't think about that. Anyway, what the hell? Where the hell was I?
Something about Blizzard.
Oh yeah. Well, I was still talking about Gamescom. Um, no, I was talking about D3. Was I talking about? Yeah, I was talking about D3. God, here I go again. I gotta be sick or something.
I don't know. I think your baby's got the burpees, man.
Jeez. Well, I was eating chili earlier, so just be glad you're not like hanging out over here recording this episode with me.
All right, on topic.
Anyway, I'll probably edit that out. I probably won't remember. I'll go to edit the video and be like, oh, damn it, I'm too tired. And just throw the whole thing together, render it overnight, and then throw it up before I leave for work tomorrow morning. But whatever. Uh, what else do we got? Oh, yeah, we were talking about D3. So, yeah, beta should be soon. I know it's those words probably ring empty now, ring hollow to everyone involved. But whatever. It'll happen. Hopefully sooner than later, because I'm tired of waiting. I keep seeing it, and it makes me cry because I want it. I want it bad. Anyway, gonna backtrack a little bit. We're gonna go back into the eSports. We're gonna go into a purely non-news, all opinion section. Esports. I'm a big fan of Major League Gaming. I'm a big fan of professional gaming in general. I have played professional gaming brackets. I have played for money, things like that. I miss it. It just doesn't have the game that I played in, which shall not be named. Didn't have the major support that it wanted, and it actually got dropped from major paid tournament bracket support or cash tournament bracket support, I should say, for consoleized version of the game. Should be a dead giveaway. I was heartbroken, especially to see the carpet ripped out from underneath us, so to speak, because then there goes my money. But whatever. Uh, I want to talk about esports in general. My opinion, I want to talk about is esports getting too big too fast? We've got things like I was talking about earlier, where Puma is coming overseas from South Korea, from team or to Team Evil Geniuses. If I'm not mistaken, this is the first time that a foreigner has been selected and traded and has been acquired by a domestic, in a sense of we live in the U.S., so it's domestic to us. A domestic professional gaming team. It's the first time that it's ever been publicized so much. Like, this was a huge move. And what does this say about pro gaming? Uh, is pro gaming getting too big too fast? Are there things that pro gaming needs to watch out for? Because we've had over the course of the last couple of years shows like Arena, which was on used to be on what used to be Tech TV, and now it's G4. So we had Arena. Sci-Fi Channel does the World Cyber Games, if I'm not mistaken. They do that once a week. You've got MLG every month almost, the majority of the year, which is probably the most exciting weekend of the year outside of hockey season for me. Yay! The Intel Master Series. You've got invitationals like the Blizzard Invitationals that are going on all over the world right now. Is esports getting too big? Should we get major esports groups to sit down and say, let's form, everybody join MLG and dump your money in there, and we'll make it like the NFL? Or Should it stay small like this? Should it stay independent? In my opinion, I think it should just take its own path. I think that major financially stable companies like Major League Gaming should be the face of professional gaming in general. But teams and companies that do invitationals for their product and for just competitive gaming in general, excuse me a second, um, should also do their invitationals. It's nice to see developers get involved with the professional bracket because a lot of people still see professional gaming, not just gaming in general, as a taboo. They see things like, oh, people are playing this 8 hours a day just so they can get a couple $1,000s a month. Yeah, some people play their product that well. And if I remember correctly, I was listening to this past week's State of the Game for StarCraft 2 with JP McDaniels and Day9 and who the hell else was on? Artosis and Idra and my one of the funniest guys in esports, if not the funniest guy in esports, in Control. They were talking about how um, I believe I heard them. I was riding home from work that night. I was on the motorcycle, so I was like half-ass paying attention, half-ass trying not to get run off the road. But I believe I heard that during the Warcraft 3 days of professional gaming, that there were two different people that had their contract salaries released, and over the course of 1 year, they were making six-figure incomes. Like just from not from tournament winnings, just from their teams, from wearing the team name, and being a member of Team Evil Geniuses, Team Liquid, Team IM, Incredible Miracle, uh, all of this stuff. Like, is this the face? Is this the future and the face of professional gaming? Should we be considering the fact that these guys, while it is a major skill, and I'm not trying to steal your thunder, Ender, I know that was one of your talking points. I'm going to give the rest of that to you. Um, should these guys be commanding six-figure salaries? Should these guys be commanding seven-figure salaries? Is esports supposed to be a competitor for mass entertainment like football is? Are people ever going to be able to settle down and go, okay, we can take this seriously because it's a legitimate thing? You got to train. I'm speaking from experience here. You got to train your ass off if you want to win money in tournaments. You can't just part time it. And if you do, you're going to go into a tournament. You might get lucky. You might win a regional because you just happen to be in a region of the United States where people aren't that competitive or people aren't paying attention to that tournament. But then you go to a big tournament. You go to an MLG. You go to a Team EG Invitational or something like that, and you get your ass handed to you in the first round. Is this what should, in your opinion, and everyone that's listening to this opinion, what should the future of professional gaming be? Should it be this, or should it slow down? Should it stay small? Ender?
Um, Personally, I've always seen stagnation to lead to decay. They got to keep moving forward. They got to keep pushing. I really don't see any reason for them to slow down. If anything, for all the it would I think it would be in the community's best interest to actually kind of unite, have a set league, and you can still have your other companies promoting their products and stuff like that, holding their own tournaments, kind of like you would like for lack of a better one, like what they do with the Rose Bowl. So, it's a separate thing aside from the normal circuit.
Yeah.
So you can sit there, you can still have their Blizzard doing their invitationals, and you can have, teams going out and doing that. But they really need to have a really concerted circuit. This is what we're doing. These are the games that we're sponsoring because they have enough of a following. And of course, you can still have your local, your regional stuff doing their own things for games that are less popular. And you know, and as far as esports goes, with it even being considered a sport, I definitely think it's definitely a sport. It's when you go back before video games and people were playing baseball and football, there was a point in time where you say, I don't know, should these guys really be making this much money
I
for
say that all
playing
the
a
time
game?
with football. I just think
Well,
football players are overpaid sissies, but I'm probably gonna get a shit ton of flack for that. But whatever.
but the
Anyway, you were
point
saying.
is, the point is that at a point in time, those were considered just merely games. They were things that you did as a form of entertainment just to have fun. And
Yeah.
then someone made the decision, you know what? Hey, there are people out there who are really good at this and people are entertained by it.
Man.
So they came together, made a league, and it caught on. And I don't see video games being anything different because there is definitely, um, you know, when you're on a casual level and then you go up to a professional level, there is a clear gap in difference between their skill levels. You put up a casual player, someone who does it sheerly just for fun in their spare time, against someone who's really dedicated to it. They break it down, they understand the very small intricacies into the mechanics of the game. And that casual player is, I'm going to say, 90% of the time is going to be blown apart.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've seen it happen where you'll have your professional go up against a casual, and they could be that one who has the capabilities of being professional, but just chooses not to, and yeah, they can beat them.
Yeah,
But
I've even seen instances in the past where, like Team EG has gone on their nightly stream with one professional player, and they get like 5 just amateurs off the side of the street or off the stream, whoever's in chat, and to play against them in StarCraft 2. I mean, and it's been a way. It's funny to watch those 5 guys lose to one person, but that's just the nature of competitive gaming. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Keep going, man.
oh no, it's perfectly good because I mean it's just like when you deal with any game, whether it be a physical sport or more of a virtual sport. I think that would be a good term to put it. Is that it requires a certain amount of skill and dedication.
Yeah, yeah,
So
it
by all
does.
means, esports, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. I just really think it needs to pull together, get more spotlight, and you'll eventually be seeing stuff like Monday night whatever game.
Yeah, that's good. That's a pretty big thought. I mean, if you look at esports in an international market, you've got StarCraft at the front, and South Korea alone has, I believe, 2 TV channels dedicated to StarCraft matches, day in and day out, 24 hours a day. I could be wrong. It could just be one. I could be even more wrong, and it could just be 0. But
No, they have at least one.
I know they have at least one that's dedicated to esports, and the majority of the time, it is StarCraft. Because StarCraft is, if you read the manifesto that I was talking about a couple of weeks back, Day9 said it perfectly. StarCraft is the chess of our day. Because when you sit down, it's not when you sit down to actually play, it is not just it's not a shooter where pick up gun, point down range, shoot person that's not on your team. Yay. It's not like that. StarCraft takes a ton of thought, and you can get through it without thinking. You just produce the same units over and over and over again and beat the campaign. However, you can't do that if you want to succeed online. You have to be able to outthink your opponent. You have to be able to think ahead of your opponent and read what your opponent is thinking. It's chess. It's chess with guns and aliens and banelings. Because banelings, that just banelings.
I don't know. I won't quite compare it to chess per se, because chess, it was very static and linear, and both players were bound by the same rules and regulations. I mean, I would see it more as being chess if there was a way of regulating how fast each person could produce their units, and they were both using the same race. So I mean, in terms of it being quite like chess, I wouldn't go that far, but in the comparison, I can see where you're going.
Yeah. Well, it's a strategy game first and foremost, and it says it on the damn box. And it's
But the
it's
problem
strategy. There
is
is
that
no other way to
unlike
put it.
chess, because of the way the variables worked with it, it was sheerly based on who had the better tact and strategy. Whereas in StarCraft, a lot of it depends on what race you are and how fast you can micromanage. I mean,
Not
you can get away with not the greatest tactics if you are faster than your opponent.
Well, yes and no. There are. It depends on who you're playing. I don't want to go too far into this because it's just if you watch enough StarCraft professional games, you're gonna see that, you know, numbers doesn't always beat tech. Sometimes tech beats numbers. Sometimes units, unit X beats unit ABC just because of race. It just it's a yes and no thing. It's hit and miss. I don't really want to go that far into it because that's just StarCraft alone. But
All
to
right, well,
continue
just
to
one
continue
last
on
thing
with East.
for my
Okay,
point.
okay,
Just one last thing for my point is let's put it this way. Let's say we both are of equal strategic minds. We can think out very far ahead. We have everything. You sit us down at a chess table, boom. You have a very interesting and close match. But now let's take that to StarCraft. Both are very well strategically, but I don't micromanage very well. I can't produce my units as fast as I should be. While you, on the other hand, you have all your hotkeys, all your bindings, and you're producing, units like every second. There is no downtime between your production. You're gonna end up beating me because I don't have that extra dexteric skill to produce these units. So it's not quite on the same level as you have with chess, where it's purely one variable is going to decide who's the better player.
uh, okay. I'll leave it at that. I could go into that really far, but we'll leave it at that. Continuing on with esports, though, one last thing on this subject: what would you like to see get more spotlight, so to speak, as far as the esports market goes? What game do you think? Because we've got uh, our next subject's MLG that's coming up this weekend. Uh, we've got League of Legends making its MLG debut in this coming tournament, and honestly, I think it's way overdue. It's just, you know, what games do you think, multiplayer games, obviously, should we be seeing more of in the spotlight in terms of major esports competitions? Should we be seeing Super Smash Brothers Brawl be brought back? Should we? I mean, I've seen it on MLG before. They didn't really stream it, and if they did, I missed it. But they did show a professional bracket for it at MLG events, and I mean, it took off. It went somewhere. It just went bye
Yeah.
bye.
Well, that's because unfortunately it was on the Wii, which didn't have the best networking system, so they all had to be local if you really wanted any serious
That's
competition.
a very good point. I didn't think about it like that.
Um,
Wee.
but like, are we talking about games that are out there
All
that I
right,
want to see more of, or in my perfect little world that I'd like to see?
both. What's coming out? What's out now? What do you want to see? What do you want to see more of, Ender? Other than me naked.
Wow. Now I'm speechless for words. All I have is your naked sexiness running through my mind. No, but okay. Out of
This is a
that,
family show. Actually, no,
um,
it's not. Anyway,
is I've always been a fan of Final Fantasy, especially Final Fantasy Tactics in particular. And when they actually made their PSP port, they actually introduced multiplayer. Amazing game. The multiplayer was awesome. I really think that if they were set there, take a little time into balancing issues, I honestly think that game could really take off. And as far as a competitive play style, but in all honesty, I don't think that would do too well. Probably because people would get bored watching it. Then
yeah,
again, I thought the same thing as StarCraft, and look where that went. But as far as games that people actually play, getting the spotlight, I don't really know. I mean, most games that are really popular and people want to see, they're already out there. You have your fan bases for your fighting games; those are out there. You have your first-person shooters. I basically, you know, if a game is good enough and has enough of a fan base, we're gonna end up seeing it. It's gonna earn its own limelight.
yeah. I guess that's true. I mean, uh, you know, you've got fighting games out there now. I don't remember what the most recent fighting game release was, but it's already got a pro tournament. It wasn't DreamHack. It was something. Something just happened. Some big tournament just happened a couple weeks ago that had a national championship for one fighter. I think it was Marvel versus Capcom or something like that. But regardless, okay. I would personally like to see. I'd like to see Team Fortress 2. And I'm kind of biased because I love Team Fortress 2, but I would kind of like to see vanilla Team Fortress 2.
But
You
then
know,
you wouldn't have your hats.
I know. Well, maybe they can leave the hats in because those aren't game changing.
I
But
don't know, are they? I personally, with the right hat, that could turn the tides of the battle, man.
you know, I think that stuff all the time as Spy because if I wear one hat, I do terrible, and if I wear another hat, I do really, really well as Spy. But I'm still a
The
bad
hat's
Spy.
probably a secret game mechanic that we just don't know about.
That's probably what it is. It probably cuts your lag by like 20 milliseconds or something like that.
Just enough.
Just enough. I'd like to see Team Fortress 2. I think it could be cool. I already know that there's a pro bracket for it. There's a pro bracket for Team Fortress Classic all the way up until like 5 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. And we talked about this in the last episode, but you know, it. I'd like to see Team Fortress Classic or Team Fortress 2 rather. Classic needs to stay dead. Quake still has a pro thing, I believe. Unreal Tournament hasn't had a pro circuit that was like a large bracket for a long time. I kind of wish that Epic would drop Gears of War for a little while now that 3's almost done or completely done or whatever, and focus on Unreal because I want Unreal back, and take away the vehicles. Let's just stick with shooting people with guns and lasers and
Like it should be.
yeah, and the bio rifle, which I was never good with. Um, I'm glad to see League of Legends making its debut. I probably already said that. I think it's going to be pretty good for esports. League of Legends brings a new aspect to the field. Plus, they're about to add a bunch of brand new content, a brand new game mode. They keep improving the game all the time. I've recently, actually, no, we'll talk about that in a little bit here. That's what I believe I would like to see as far as esports goes in the coming years. I just want esports to get bigger, in my opinion. I think that the salary shouldn't matter. I think they should be regulated a little bit so you keep things fair because you don't want to hear Idra is making, you want to hear Idra is making like 20,000 a year, and Sheth, no offense, Sheth, but is making 100,000, and he's continuously not in the top 10 for MLG or GSL or whatever. But I think that's something that should be regulated, but that would take a large league. That would take a lot of smaller leagues going, okay, we're going to drop our tournaments and we're going to give you all the budgeting that we have for our smaller tournaments and dump it into MLG to make MLG even better than it already is. Because in my opinion, MLG is the best pro gaming bracket out there. It's the best pro gaming market, the best pro gaming circuit. It's the best. They've got the best publicity in the United States, and I think the only thing that tops it is GSL over in South Korea for StarCraft. But that's just StarCraft. That's not Black Ops. That's not Halo. That's not League of Legends. We'll see either way. That's, only time will tell. MLG this coming weekend is Rally. I believe it's Rally. Yeah, August 26th to the 28th starts on Friday evening. We've got, let's see, what's on the full broadcast schedule? We've got Red Stream, Blue Stream for StarCraft 2. We've got League of Legends is supposed to be streamed. We've got Halo Reach and Call of Duty Black Ops. So, just pay attention to what happens at MLG in this coming weekend. If you can't purchase the HQ stream for a high def, watch it anyways. Deal with the commercials. It's not that bad. And if you can spare the $10 or $15, I forgot how much it is. I think it's $10 or whatever, for the pro stream, do it because high def. I personally, my setup here, I'll probably show this in a video that I want to shoot later on down the road, but my setup here in this little cage I call my room is I've got a 22-inch and a 24-inch monitor and the monitor is the actual TV, and it's to my right. And I play all my games on the 22-inch because it's got better color depth in my opinion, and it's an older monitor, so that's really funny to me. I might just be because I'm used to it, whatever. Um, and then I keep like Facebook and whatever else I have going on at the time on my right screen, full screened. Well, MLG comes up and I'm playing something on my left screen, and on my right screen I've got all of my I've got blown up like the StarCraft 2 streams during MLG. And this MLG, I will admit, I'm going to be having a hard time managing my time because I'm going to be flipping back and forth between League of Legends because I'm very interested in watching the pro circuit for that. I don't really get to see League of Legends Pro very often. And StarCraft 2, Black Ops can bite it. Halo just gets old. Um, StarCraft is just fresh. It's always fun. You got guys like Day9 and Husky and Tasteless and whoever else. Sorry, whoever I missed that works with Husky on his stream. I feel bad. But yeah, well, it's going to be an interesting weekend coming up. And then we've got like a month break. Month break in terms of MLG. Uh, eSports is going to have a pretty busy month and a half leading up to MLG Orlando, which, surprise, I'm going to. So you guys can expect some very special content coming from MLG from me through MLG Orlando. Um, yeah, we got BlizzCon after that. That's going to be pretty big. By that time, we should be playing Diablo 3 beta, so you probably won't see much of me after MLG Orlando as far as in real life. I'm probably going to be go to work, come home, sit in front of computer. Go to work, come home, sit in front of computer. Occasionally sleep in there. Um, yeah, we'll see. This next month is going to be pretty. The next 2 months are going to be pretty busy. We're obviously still going to be putting on episodes. I already said D3 beta is going to be very soon, so that's pretty much it. Let's do a new segment. Let's close up with something different. We've got video of the week, which is another not safe for work video, but it's funny as hell. It's another steal from State of the Game, the StarCraft 2 podcast webcast that gets put out. It's funny. In Control is probably one of the funniest dudes I've ever heard, and he has the best voices and the best opinions on some of the dumbest subjects. And just watch the video. But I'd like to close this week with, what are you playing this week, Ender?
What am I playing this week?
Yeah, what have you been playing this week other than League of Legends?
Oh, well, shoot, that just shot down everything. Actually, this week I've been playing, aside from League of Legends, I've actually been playing some Monster Hunter. That's old news though.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm going to be dragging you into World of Tanks here. I'm not taking this lightly. You will play it because I know you're going to like it.
okay. I guess I'm gonna be playing some more World of Tanks. I've always been dabbling here and there in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I gotta go in there every now and then, troll my Uzi ACOG scope.
Man. And you got that Aruba Tuba class that we... So...
All day.
All day. Tubes all day. I actually have... I'll see if I can take a screenshot of it. My tube class is in all caps. Gay!
Hey, now we don't need people thinking we hate the gays.
It's a family show. Um... But yeah, I've been playing a lot of World of Tanks. I've been working a lot this week, so it's kind of difficult to. I come home, I watch Star Trek Deep Space Nine, which I'm almost done with, thank God. I've pretty much watched everything except for the Star Trek Enterprise reboot, not the Next Generation, but Enterprise that was on broadcast TV for a while, and I never liked it. Yeah, I've watched all of Next Generation, which is like 6 years worth of stuff. I've watched all of Voyager now, and I'm on the last 2 seasons of Deep Space Nine, which are still pretty good. I like Deep Space Nine.
Now you're making me want to shout gay. Bring on the hate.
Bring on the hate. Yeah, a lot of World of Tanks, a little bit of Terraria, a little bit of Civilization 5. I'm still on my first game, but that's because I'm like 200 and something turns in. And I've gone for a military victory. I just want to take over the world once and get it out of my system. That's pretty much it. But yeah, that sounds like it's gonna do it. Any Ender, you got anything
Do I got anything?
other than the gay?
Haha.
Haha, well played.
Uh, I got nothing.
All right. Well, with that being said, that is gonna do it from our multiple broadcast studios here in beautiful southern sunny Florida. Ugh, it's been raining like crazy these past couple days. My backyard is a swamp, and I live on a lake, so it's already bad. But like my entire dock is pretty much underwater. Um,
Ah,
yeah, it's pretty bad out there. It's been raining really, really heavy, and now we're expecting a tropical storm, if not a hurricane, in the next couple. Uh, I think they said 5 days we should be expecting one to hit. What?
awesome. Hurricane party.
Yeah, totally. You're bringing your computer over. We're gonna land it up.
Fuck yeah.
Eat chili and drink Mountain Dew and.
Oh, I'm so mad right now. My the wheel on my desk is broken, so I have
Oh
to top it
no.
up with old game cartridges.
See, games have their purpose even after they're long gone. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this episode of EVADEcast. Please don't forget to subscribe, favorite, like, and repost our videos. We greatly appreciate it. We are almost at 50 viewers, or 50 subscribers, I should say, and almost at 1,000 channel views or video views. Jeez, man, I can't think. When that happens, I'm gonna do special videos for stuff. I'm gonna do a special video for MLG Orlando. I am taking a video camera, so you will actually get to see at least the face of SpaceCheif and possibly not Savard because we've been talking about him coming with me. We still don't know what the plan is with that because he's got school. Ender, don't know what's going on there. So all that being said, yeah, subscribe, like, favorite, repost. For the love of God, please repost. Don't forget that you guys can comment on our videos. We love feedback. Feedback is what drives us, honestly, because we can talk about stuff all day, but what we really want to do is talk about what other people think, because this is a show of a lot of opinions, and your
Yes, because
opinions.
remember, guys, without you, we are but worms.
Well, he said it. Anyway, that's it. That is going to do it for me. I am SpaceCheif.
Oh, man, I was supposed to be on top of it this time. This is ended.
Man, that's 3 weeks in a row. 3 episodes in a row. Anyway, that's it for us. We will see you guys next time. We should have another video up in a couple days. I don't know. We'll get to it because the things are starting to settle down again. I'll start doing shorts. I'm gonna force Ender to start doing shorts and stuff like that. So, yeah. See
Man, I
ya.
don't wear shorts.
Stretchy pants, man.